professionalism of the lawyers providing legal aid and the infrastructure they have, and the deep-seated public trust, and how the law schools are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we'll start our session with first an introduction of our esteemed speakers, and I will ask each and every one of them to introduce themselves. Take a couple of minutes, tell us everything about your life from the day you were born till this morning, in summary. We'll start with you, Dushyant.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for giving this opportunity, and I wish everybody a very, very happy weekend. The thing is that legal aid is a very important topic, and I'm quite happy and also surprised when I got the invitation for a legal aid, because generally you see webinars on arbitrations and commercial courts and all these things in which there are a number of people who want to speak. But legal aid is a topic which is not touched very often, which it should be. And Justice Arun Kumar, when he was in the Supreme Court, he came to our law school once in 2002, and he said that all the kids should try to give some legal aid as much as possible. So after clearing my law school in 2004, I have tried to do a lot of pro bono work as much as I can, few hours every week, and it is also doable. It's not that big a difficulty. And Professor B.V. Pandey in our law school, he used to have those legal aid clinics where he would take students to Tihar jail, slum dwellings. And actually, it is that route place. I don't want to take time right now, but where the legal aid is most required and it can be most effective. A person who's very well off doesn't need legal aid, but the ones who really need legal aid, they're not even aware that there is something called legal aid which is available to them. And that's how it can work. So although I do primarily intellectual property litigation, but I try to spend some time doing legal aid, and I'm wishing to hear everything from everybody else as well. Thank you so much for having me, sir.
Thank you very much, Dushyant. So we have a good day today with two Ajays. So we'll start with Ajay Bir Singh. Please tell us.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning. Hi, Ajay. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good, Ajay. Good.
Strange places to meet, right?
Yeah.
Not in the Supreme Court.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, it is. I was expecting Sonia Mathur also. Maybe she is not in the final list.
Yeah.
Maybe she was busy.
Select list.
So, Mr. Chuk, it's a great thing that you are discussing such an important topic. And my introduction is that I practice anywhere, but my chamber is in the Supreme Court. So logistics and I have my office in the Bengali market, and most of my litigation is in writ jurisdiction, SLPs, and SLP can be of multi-variety. It can be on any area, criminal side, it can be civil side, it can be land acquisition, and in writ jurisdiction you have a large area. So most of the time I'm focused here in the Supreme Court, and this topic is something really attracts me, because it's not only 39A that's involved. 39A is actually initiating a bigger topic. There's much more muck beside that. So thank you very much for inviting me for this.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let's hear from Ajay Garg. Ajay, please tell us about your life.
Yeah, good morning to all the panelists and all the participants in this particular meeting, which is very important and crucial for everyone to understand. We also learn more from our friends See, I am a practicing lawyer in Supreme Court and High Court for last about 30 years. And I have also got some small contribution as far as that free legal aid is concerned. After the demise of my parents in 2016, as every child would like to do something in the memory of the parents. So I also thought, what should I do? Should I donate some money in some dharmshala, or maybe open some, small mandir or something to commemorate or to in the memory of my parents? But later I thought, since I'm a lawyer, my father was also a lawyer, a practicing lawyer, so I should do something in this field itself, where I can really help people in the memory of my parents. So I founded this institution by the name of Radhe Krishna Legal Aid Foundation in 2016. So it's almost a decade, and this institution has grown a lot. I mean, it started from a very humble starting, but gradually a lot of people joined, a lot of volunteers joined, advocates and all, and that's how this organization has been providing, the free legal aid to thousands of people all over India. So that is basically our experience in the legal aid is concerned.
Very nice, Ajay.
Yeah.
If 1 out of 10 lawyers in India did what you're doing, all of the legal aid for the poor will be solved. Thank you for doing what you're doing. It's awesome.
Thank you.
धन्य जय, बहुत इंग्लिश होगी, आप हिंदी में कुछ बोलो. म्यूट. अनम्यूट करो धनंजय, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा.
ओके सर, सुनाई दिया सर. ओके सर. के वेबिनार में कार्यक्रम में संचालक आदरणीय श्री नवजीत जी सर सुनाई दे रहा है?
फिर से बोलो.
सर, आज के वेबिनार में शामिल समन्वयक संचालक आदरणीय श्री नवजीत जी, कार्यक्रम के पैनलिस्ट आदरणीय डॉक्टर दीपिका जी, अजय वीर जी, अजय गर्ग जी और मधुलिका जी और सिद्धांत पंडिता सर, शांति जी एवं श्रुति जी. जो मैं अपने बारे में थोड़ा परिचय दे दूं, मैं धनंजय तिवारी वर्तमान में डिप्टी चीफ लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल के रूप में अपनी सेवाएं दे रहा हूं. विधिक क्षेत्र में मेरा 21 वर्षों का समृद्ध अनुभव रहा है. पिछले 4 वर्षों से मैं लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल सिस्टम एलडीसी में प्रत्यक्ष रूप से जुड़कर समाज के अंतिम व्यक्ति एवं निःशुल्क सक्षम विधिक सहायता पहुंचाने में प्रतिबद्ध हूं. मेरे कार्य क्षेत्र की प्रमुख जानकारी एवं उपलब्धियां इस प्रकार है. लीगल एड डिफेंस के रूप में अब तक मेरे द्वारा लगभग 200 गंभीर दांडिक विषयों, सत्र न्यायालय, एनडीपीएस, पास्को और एसटी/एससी और दांडिक अपीलों में मेरे द्वारा सफलतापूर्वक पैरवी कर पात्र लाभार्थियों को दोष मुक्त एवं जमानत का लाभ पहुंचाया है. सर, नियमित जेल विजिट कर मेरे द्वारा बंदियों के संवैधानिक अधिकारों की रक्षा एवं समस्याओं से संबंधित मैंने त्वरित निवारण किया हुआ है और जन सामान्य के लिए विधिक जागरूकता अभियानों में मेरी सक्रिय सहभागिता है. केंद्रीय जेल में एवं विधि के छात्रों को मैं भारत के नए दांडिक कानूनों के संबंध में जागरूक एवं सहयोग कर रहा हूं. सर, मेरा मुख्य ध्येय यही है कि न्याय क्षेत्र को सुलभ, पारदर्शी एवं जरूरतमंदों के लिए न्याय संगत बनाना है. सर, जो भारत में जो निःशुल्क विधिक सेवा है, जो संविधान के अनुच्छेद 39 का एवं विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण अधिनियम की धारा 12 के अंतर्गत जो विशाल तंत्र स्थापित है, 3267 जो प्राधिकरण हैं और उनके माध्यम से जो पेनल लॉयर और लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल एवं पैरा लीगल वॉलंटियर के माध्यम से जो जरूरतमंद तक सही एवं सहायता पहुंचाई जाती है, उसका मुख्य कारण संसाधनों की कमी नहीं है और इस विषय पे बहुत ही रुचिकर है कि जो विधिक सेवा है वह विचाराधीन बंदियों को निःशुल्क एवं सक्षम मिल सके. इस हेतु बड़े 5 भ्रम है. जैसे आपने एक टॉपिक भी चुना हुआ है कि कौन कौन सा भ्रम है, तो इस प्रकार से भ्रम है। जो निःशुल्क विधिक केवल गरीबों और बीपीएल जो धारक है उनको ही सहयोग देता है, ऐसा जो भ्रम है। जबकि संविधान और जो विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण अधिनियम जो 12 है उनके अंतर्गत सभी महिलाएं, सभी बच्चे, अनुसूचित जाति एवं जनजाति के सदस्य, हिरासत या बंदी में हुए व्यक्ति, दिव्यांग, औद्योगिक कर्मकार एवं श्रमिक जो बिना किसी आय के निःशुल्क कानूनी सहायता के पात्र होते हैं सर। जबकि दूसरा भ्रम यह है कि सरकारी तथा मुफ्त वकील कमजोर, अनुभवहीन और लापरवाह होते हैं। जबकि सच्चाई यह है कि पैरालीगल वॉलंटियर हो, चाहे लीगल पेनल लॉयर हो, लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल हो, इनका चयन जो सख्त जो मापदंड बनाए हुए हैं उनके आधार पे माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के दिशा निर्देश के अनुसार होता है। एलईडीसीएम में पूर्णकालीन आपराधिक वकील तैनात होते हैं और जिन्हें निजी प्रैक्टिस की अनुमति नहीं होती, ताकि वह केवल विधिक सहायकों के मामले में ध्यान केंद्रित सके। तीसरा भ्रम यह होता है कि मुफ्त वकील केवल फीस एवं कागजी खर्च नहीं दिलाता है, ऐसा भ्रम होता है। जबकि सच्चाई यह है कि विधिक सहायता के वकील केवल उनकी फीस ही माफ नहीं होती, जबकि उनकी कोर्ट फीस, ड्राफ्टिंग फीस होती है, टाइपिंग प्रोसेस फीस, दस्तावेजों की सत्यापित प्रमाणित प्रतिलिपियों को प्राप्त करने का खर्चा भी उनको मिलता है सर। इसी प्रकार जो एक बार जब विधिक सेवा की वकील जब अपन नियुक्त कर लेते हैं, तब अपन स्वतंत्र कोई दूसरा वकील नहीं लगा सकते, ऐसे करके भ्रांतियां होती है। जबकि वस्तुतः स्थिति यह है, जब कोई आप कानूनी सेवा से कोई वकील प्रमाणित करते हैं, उनसे आप संतुष्ट नहीं है, करने का किसी भी स्टेज पे आप स्वतंत्र रूप से आप अपना वकील नियुक्त कर सकते हैं। इसी प्रकार विधिक सेवा निःशुल्क पात्रता के संबंध में ये है कि जब मामला जब न्यायालय में लंबित हो जाता है, तभी कोई वकील निःशुल्क एवं सक्षम वकील की नियुक्ति हो सकती है। जबकि सच्चाई यह है कि प्रत्येक व्यक्ति का संवैधानिक अधिकार है कि वह जब गिरफ्तारी से लेकर रिमांड, सुनवाई, प्री लिटिगेशन और लोक अदालत और या न्यायालय के प्रत्येक चरण में या प्री लिटिगेशन के स्तर पे भी आपको विधिक सहायता संविधान के अनुच्छेद 39 का और या विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण अधिनियम के अंतर्गत आपको दिलाई जा सकती है। जबकि एक और भ्रांति यह है कि क्या क्या व्यवहारिक परेशानी आती है। जबकि हमको ये मालूम है कि कोई भी पात्र व्यक्ति है वह नालसा के 15-100 में या विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण के किसी भी पोर्टल में जाकर या प्रत्यक्ष रूप से जिला विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण, राज्य विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण या राष्ट्रीय विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण के कार्यालय में या पत्राचार के माध्यम से भी निःशुल्क एवं सक्षम विधिक सेवा प्राप्त करने हेतु अपना आवेदन दे सकता है। और आवेदन देने के लिए एक निर्धारित प्रोफार्मा होती है जिसमें अपना डिटेल देना होता है, केस से संबंधित जानकारी देना होता है और शपथ पत्र देना होता है। और जो पात्र या लाभार्थी होते हैं उनको जो विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण अधिनियम के जो 12 के अंतर्गत जो भी मापदंड हैं वो पात्र व्यक्तियों को उनके अनुसार से उनको विधिक एवं निःशुल्क एवं सक्षम विधिक सहायता मुहैया कराया जाता है।
ओके धन्य जी, मेरे को आपको बहुत क्वेश्चंस पूछने हैं, तो अभी मैं आपके पास आता हूँ 1 मिनट में। पहले लेट्स इंट्रोड्यूस सिद्धांत पंडिता। Go ahead, Siddhant. Please tell
Hello,
us
sir.
about your life.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about this. And I would say thanks to all the senior panelists. I see I have the lesser experience from all of them, but I will try to justify it. So I have been into practice from 2012. I did my law from Delhi University, Faculty of Law. Thereafter, I started my practice with the independent lawyers, criminal side. Then I did my practice with Supreme Court AORs, senior advocates. Presently, I'm working with Classes Law as an associate partner in the disputes team. So initially, I got a chance to work free for, like, you can say it's a pro bono case when I was practicing with a AOR, advocate on record, for a security guard. It was a pro bono case because the guy could not afford the fees. But I would say, initially it is about the level of experience you have. There were the other lawyers who were standing from, prosecution sides. They were having a lot of experience. Now I tell why I'm saying about the experience, because now when I am doing a pro bono case, it's a different thing. I know much about the case. I know how to argue and how to represent the case. So I would say that legal aid is not only about how you do, if you are doing it through a institutional, like there are NALSA, DLSA, there are various other institutions. This can be done pro bono as well, and lot of lawyers are doing it pro bono, not through any institution, but independently as well. Considering, but how it varies because if someone who is starting from zero, like if somebody is having 1 year of experience in and somebody is having 12 years of experience, definitely there is going to be some difference because the first year law practitioner will be focusing more on making his name in the market than the person who is is already established in the market. His name is already there in the market, comes and represents somebody. It's a totally different scenario. So it depends from case to case, from person to person, and the infrastructure obviously provided to the lawyers.
Okay, thank you so much, Siddhant. Wonderful ideas. So, Dushyant, my first preliminary question to you is the reason Article 39A was put into the Constitution is we all know that India looked at several countries' constitutions before making its own. We also had the privilege of England doing a draft constitution for us in 1922, a second one in 1935. Then Dr. Ambedkar and company took a few years to finalize it. So there was a purpose, and a lot of the developed countries and even the underdeveloped countries give free legal aid to people that can't afford it because if the government's charging somebody with a crime and if that person doesn't have any money to defend themselves, to be fair, the government should provide some defense counsel as well. What's if I were to ask you, Dushyant, to rate and rank of how 39A is performing in the country, what would be your judgment?
So, first of all, I have to say that lawyers like Mr. Dhananjay Tiwari are not very many present across, and Mr. Tiwari is doing really good job, and he's very dedicated. But the bigger problem is that there are not many lawyers who are very readily available due to their own time constraints. One. Secondly, even in US, as you would know, that the Miranda ruling when it came, it actually conceptualized and it brought down a systematic change in the enforcement. That when you're detaining somebody, at that moment only you are telling them that they have a right to an attorney, they have a right to stay silent. All these things are completely missing in our system. We have this imbibed in Article 20, sub Article 2, that no accused can be forced to say anything. Accused will be provided legal aid, but nobody tells them. So what happens is that they damage their own cases by giving some statement which even good lawyers like Mr. Tiwari find it difficult to handle or do a damage control at a later stage. So what I'm saying is that at the institution level, it has not worked very well. But at the same time, as Siddhant also rightly said, each individual lawyers and people, if they can put in that much effort, then it can grow and gradually can happen. And I'll give you very small examples. Whenever we see a newspaper report of a billion scam taking place or some scam taking place, it really does not affect my livelihood or my lifestyle immediately. What actually affects my lifestyle is that when a domestic help coming to our home cannot take 1 day's leave because she has to go to municipality office. From there, she has to procure a birth certificate, a death certificate, income certificate, or some things like that, which are all available free of cost, but they have to pay money. Like if she has to pay 4,000 rupees just to get some basic free documents, that 4,000 rupees has to come from my pocket gradually through some butterfly effect. So what I am saying is that this kind of scam which happens at a lower level, it hurts us far bigger than those billions and trillions which we see in newspaper. That's why the legal aid has to come in. Every police station should have it over there in all vernacular regional languages, that even if you are coming over here, you're not supposed to answer anything to any police call. You call for a lawyer, this is the number of a lawyer. You go to municipality office, there should be a number. You go to a DDA office, there should be a number for free legal aid. Now, this is how probably we can get the awareness. And here I come again to the Miranda effect. That once Miranda came into effect, then only the accused also came to know that we also have some rights. which we should exercise. I am really half inclined, and I've debated with some of the lawyers in the last few years that I really want to file a petition in the Supreme Court to have a Miranda imbibed over here as well. It will immensely help our judicial system and even enforcement system. This is what I feel.
Thank you so much. So, Ajay Garg, you've done, as you just told us, 10 years of a lot of pro bono legal aid work. So, can you share with us how big is the problem throughout the country? And is the problem more so in tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 cities? And how are you tackling it? What do you do when people come to you for free legal work?
See, the problem is huge, no doubt about this. As far as if we discuss about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, then the problem persists in tier 3. In metropolitan cities, of course, NALSA, as well as the state legal service authorities and district level service authorities are doing a good job, no doubt about this. I mean, they are holding programs from time to time. They are making people aware. They are giving representation to the needy people. Their representatives are also going in jails. Not of the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee, but definitely Delhi High Court Legal Service Committee's lawyers. They have a panel. The lawyers are going to the jails, Delhi prisons, as well as the district level uh, legal aid service committees. They also are sending lawyers to the district courts, to the jails, and giving the free legal aid to them. They are drafting their bail applications, miscellaneous applications, appeals in the High Court, and that's how a lot of people are getting free representation as far as the tier 1 cities are concerned. But as far as tier 2 and tier 3, there I see the efforts are much more required. I mean, the kind of infrastructure which is needed, where I mean, where we find the real poor people and the needy and the marginalized class. So there, people are not very well aware about the free legal aid or the services which are being given by the free legal aid authorities and the government. I think much more awareness is required in the tier 3 cities and in tier 2 also to some extent, so that people really know that there is some kind of a legal aid service which they can avail of. They don't need to engage the the popular lawyers or to pay fees to them. They are covered in the category wherein they can get the free legal aid. And I think the area of the scope of legal aid should not be only the courts, as Dushyant rightly pointed out. Even in the police stations, you know, for the victim as well as for the accused, there should be a free legal aid readily available. As far as if somebody comes to give a complaint, for example, immediately he should be attached to a legal aid counsel, so that he can at least see whether the complaint is properly written, whether it discloses a cognizable offense or not. So if it does not disclose, then giving a complaint is meaningless. So similarly for the accused, soon thereafter, when the FIR is registered and he's arrested, so before the matter goes to remand, a legal aid lawyer should be made available for him, so that he can at least see what is the FIR, what is the matter, what should he, at least he can make him aware about Article 22, that you have a right to be silent in the interrogation. All these things are pretty material.
Thank you so much. We'll come back to you for more practical stuff. So, Mr. Ajay Singh ji, you are hereby appointed Minister of Legal Aid in India. and you have 3 months to finish your task. It's a 90-day appointment and unlimited money, unlimited resources. And the Prime Minister's asked you, Ajay, tell me 3 problems and 3 solutions in the next 90 days. What are you going to do?
You don't require a lot of work to do, but what you need to do is something very effectively. And 90 days and unlimited money, and obviously I demand unlimited power as well, so that I can implement what I really want to do. So I'll be very brief. We know 39A, and we know Hussain Ara Khatun and a few other judgments where the Supreme Court said yes, it's going to be a very important thing and it needs to be implemented. It's part of Article 21. But it's by way of 39A is by way of directive principles. So it's not a fundamental right. So making me a minister, that means you are making it a fundamental right. Thank you, Navneet Chukji. That means you are the Prime Minister. If I'm the minister, you're the Prime Minister.
I have to be careful with these questions.
Let me tell you, whatever is being delivered today is by virtue of the good conscience of the lawyers. It was the good conscience of the lawyers that got us independence. And it's the good conscience of our lawyers like Dhananjay. He just narrated what he has been doing. And Dushyant, he acknowledged it. And Siddhant is on his way to do it. And Ajay, I think, is busy somewhere. But I am aware that Ajay has been doing great things. A man with conscience. As a minister, I will request the Bar Council of India to make it mandatory for every lawyer in this country to do one pro bono case every month. It takes care of the quality of legal aid that's required, because today what is happening is legal aid is being identified with people who don't have cases. So if somebody applies in legal aid, you say, oh, this guy doesn't have cases, or he's new, or he's not having any practice, or he's a substandard lawyer. Now, this identification is not very, very positive thing. So if I'm the minister, let Kapil Sibal and Mukul Rodhi also do pro bono cases. I mean, they do big cases only pro bono to the extent so that they get some kind of political or visual on the media. But if you imagine, say, there are not less than 20-30 lakhs lawyers in this country. So imagine 30 lakh cases every month being done by the lawyers who are in practice. This is one thing. And Bar Council of India can make it mandatory. Because Bar Council, and it's not going to be a very difficult thing. Today, the people who are doing legal aid, I know some of the lawyers who are registered with legal aid, who go and take cases in the legal aid. You will feel like giving some money to the lawyer himself, who doesn't have enough money to survive himself. So I am aware of the cases where the legal aid lawyer is asking money from the person who has sought for legal aid. अरे कागज के पैसे तो दे दे. अरे भाई मैं वहां कोर्ट तक जाऊंगा, कोर्ट तक का किराया तो दे दे. And they are paying. So it has become a farce. And another thing, it's not the legal aid that's important here. Let us look at the preamble. In the preamble, when they start with justice, social, political, whatever. So we need to achieve justice. So the participation of the judges in the legal aid program is also a must. They have to be more sensitive to people who can't pay, who are at the marginalized level of the society. So legal aid is not only going to be a system as it is there. No doubt, massive work has been done. As I'm aware of the statistics, some more 48 lakh cases have been done by legal aid in last 3 years. But is that enough? You and me are talking today here just precisely because of the reason we are not satisfied. And legal aid is not only for the criminal matters. I am aware of the people who have lost their properties because they couldn't fight a case, civil case. They have lost the properties because the property very well belonged to them, but they couldn't fight the case, contest the case in the court so effectively. If we look back to the system of justice delivery in this country, way back in the ancient times, in the medieval times also, we had a panchayat system. And there was no adversarial common law legal system where you never required lawyers. They were the conscience of the elders of the village who would sit and decide the cases. They were like sheriffs in the small towns, and they would decide everything. When the common law legal system came here, it was an adversarial system. You required a lawyer, and your success depends on how smart your lawyer is. So if the smartness of the lawyer decides your case, certainly there is something wrong with the system itself. Because then you cannot guarantee justice to all. You defeat the very preamble we are talking about. It's to give effect to the preamble. That 42nd Amendment came up with 39A, but only by way of directive principles. Right. So, sir.
Good. So we're live on YouTube, on Facebook and LinkedIn. Yeah. So we're getting lots of questions from the audience as well. So I have lots of questions, and we'll do a rapid round in a little bit.
Yes, we can have. So as a minister, three things. As a minister, three things. I conclude. I call the BCI and make it mandatory for every lawyer in this country to have a case every month. Not every year, every month. One case in a month is very much doable. That gives me instantly 30 lakh appearances every month. Not appearances, it should be a case. And 30 lakhs every month multiplied by 12 in a year, I am able to do 3 crore 60 lakh cases. That's done. Second thing, I think we should need some kind of courses, sensitization courses for the judiciary as well. To understand somebody who's coming by way of legal aid or pro bono has to be heard with a different kind of angle. This is two. And third, as far as the infrastructure is concerned, we need to really build up a big infrastructure so that we can effectively implement the first two that we said. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
As a minister, I have delivered.
You've done a great job. I wish somebody is watching and listening, and Prime Minister Modi gets to hear what you want to do, and you get a letter soon. Even if you don't get a letter, you go ahead and write a letter that, hey, I was appointed 90 days by Indian Lawyers Association. What's going on with my appointment?
May I say something, sir? Yes. It's not very light-hearted, but you look like Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Oh,
yeah.
I made the mistake today of wearing his light blue turban. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said that. Thank you so much. I had the pleasure of meeting him twice. Just gem of a person, and at the right time. In 1991, if he had what he did in 91, if he had done in 71 or 81 or 2001, it wouldn't have worked. The timing was right, and I think grateful for everyone who served the country. So Dhanyaji, you were in a very small city, I've already forgotten which one, in Dhamtari, Chhattisgarh, right? तो वो छोटा सा शहर है, तो वहाँ पे जब प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं लोगों को और उनके पास पैसे नहीं हैं, तो वो क्या करते हैं और आप कैसे उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करते हो? एंड बड़े सिटीज वाले लोग क्या सीख सकते हैं आपसे? अनम्यूट कर लो।
सर आवाज है? सर छोटे सिटी में ये प्रॉब्लम होती है कि अवेयरनेस नहीं होती है और ज्यादातर ट्राइबल इलाके होते हैं, तो वो शिक्षित भी नहीं होते और वो उनको ऐसा लगता है कि जो जिला न्यायालय होते हैं उनसे दूरस्थ अंचल होने के कारण वो वकीलों से संपर्क नहीं कर पाते। जब उनसे संबंधित कोई अपराध घटित हो जाता है तो जेल के माध्यम से ही हम संपर्क करते हैं और सरकार ने अच्छा सुविधा दे चुकी है। जिस प्रकार से आदरणीय दुष्यंत सर, अजय गर्ग सर और सिद्धांत सर और आपने भी बहुत अच्छे ढंग से संविधान के अनुच्छेदों में जो दिक्कतें आती हैं उस संबंध में आपने बताया कि कैसे दिक्कत आती है। जैसे मैं छोटी सिटी में रहता हूँ, उसमें व्यवहारिक दिक्कत ये आती है कि हम जब उनसे कन्वर्सेशन करते हैं तो वो उनके पास ऐसा माध्यम नहीं होता कि हमारे बातों को समझ सके और छोटी छोटी जैसे बातें होती हैं जो अपने बचाव के प्रतिरक्षा के जो बातें होती है वो हमको शेयर नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि उनको ये विश्वास नहीं होता कि जो मेरे लिए जो मुफ्त में या निःशुल्क अधिवक्ता मुहैया करवाएं वो सही ढंग से पैरवी कर पाएंगे नहीं कर पाएंगे। ये थोड़ी व्यवहारिक दिक्कत या जो पढ़े लिखे ना होने के कारण ये दिक्कतें आती हैं और लैंग्वेज बैरियर भी होता है उसमें। वो ग्रामीण परिवेश के लोग होते हैं, उनसे जब बातचीत करो तो वो क्या चीजें संकुचाते हैं, तो वो हमको ऐसे माहौल देना पड़ता है, उसको फ्रीनेस देना पड़ता है, उनके ही लोकल लैंग्वेज में बातचीत करके उनको समझाया जाता है कि आपको हम बेहतर ढंग से पैरवी करेंगे, निःशुल्क करेंगे और जो सुविधाएं हैं जो शासन आपको देती है, जैसे अजय वीर साहब ने जो बताया गवर्नमेंट के जो मातहत अधिकारी हैं, मैं ये चाहूंगा भी कि वो इस जो फ्री लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल LADC है उनको बरकरार रखे। अभी जो समस्या आ रही है जो पंजाब हरियाणा में उसको दूर करे क्योंकि हमारी जो अपॉइंटमेंट है हमारी काबिलियत के हिसाब से हुआ है और हमारे जो स्ट्रेंथ है जो हमने दिया है लोगों को निःशुल्क सहायता किया है, उनको छुड़वाया है, उनको जमानत दिलवाया है, ये सब हमने किया है। इसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में सभी सर, दुष्यंत सर ने भी बताया, अजय गर्ग सर ने भी बताया, सिद्धांत सर ने बताया, अजय वीर साहब तो शासन के नुमाइंदे भी हैं और आप नवनीत सर ने भी अच्छा उस हिसाब से आपने प्रेजेंटेशन दिया कि हम सभी के लिए गौरवान्वित का विषय है कि जो लीगल एड और फ्री डिफेंस जो है वो आम लोगों तक पहुंचे। जो संविधान की मंशा है, जो विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण अधिनियम की जो मंशा है, लोगों तक न्याय उनके घर तक पहुंचे, उन्हें एक्सेस टू जस्टिस, वो इसी चरितार्थ के भाव से हम सब इस क्षेत्र में जुड़े हुए हैं। और मैं तो ये चाहता हूं कि मैं तो बहुत छोटे इलाके से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ। दुष्यंत सर, अजय गर्ग सर, सिद्धांत सर, अजय वीर सर और दीपिका मैम और आप नवनीत चुग सर, और कितनी बड़ी टीम है। और मैं ये चाहूंगा कि ये सब मिल के जब अवेयरनेस करेंगे और जन जागरण करेंगे तो बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट मिलेंगे। साथ ही साथ मैं ये चाहूंगा कि जो कानूनी सहायता प्रणाली है कागजी पहुंच से निकलकर व्यवहारिक प्रभाव में बदलने के लिए जनता के भ्रम को हटाना हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता होगी। और हम सब आम नागरिक को यह समझा पाएंगे कि मुफ्त वकील पाना उनका संवैधानिक अधिकार नहीं है और दया भीख नहीं है। जब तक न्याय की अंतिम व्यक्ति तक वो पहुंच न पहुंचे तब तक ये अधूरी है। जैसे अभी वर्तमान परिप्रेक्ष्य में हम देखते हैं राष्ट्रीय विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण नालसा द्वारा जो आपराधिक प्रकरण में जो आर्थिक रूप से जो कमजोर वर्ग के प्रतिनिधित्व देने हैं तो लीगल डिफेंस काउंसिल की जो नियुक्ति की गई है उसमें देश भर में जो विभिन्न बार एसोसिएशन द्वारा जो LADC की कार्य प्रणाली पर चिंताएं व्यक्त कर रहे हैं और एक समानांतर लीगल एड बार का निर्माण कर रहे हैं, ऐसा करके एलिगेशन लगा रहे हैं। और वो सब समझते हैं कि हम सभी जो वकील हैं उनकी आजीविका और पेशे में ये प्रभावित कर रहे हैं और हमारे स्वतंत्रता को छीन रहे हैं और ये इनके अनुबंध को खत्म कर दिया जाए, लीगल एड डिफेंस को समाप्त कर दिया जाए और इन पर ऐसा सब आ रहा है। और माननीय न्यायालय ने भी ये निर्णय लिया हुआ है कि 3/8 को कि समाप्त करके और नया पेनल लायर को देंगे। तो मैं अजय वीर सर से विनम्र विनती करता हूँ, नवनीत चुग सर से भी विनती करता हूँ कि लीगल एड डिफेंस जो काउंसिल है वो चुने हुए वकील को जो माननीय न्यायालय के दिशा निर्देश और शर्तों और नियम कायदों के अनुसार नियुक्त किया गया है। बहुत अच्छे से काम कर रहे हैं सर। और आप देख भी रहे हैं, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी इसका राष्ट्रीय लेवल पे संबोधन भी किया है, उनकी अच्छाइयों के बारे में बताया है, लोगों को उनको लाभ हो रहा है इनके बारे में बताया है। तो छोटी सी और वकीलों के दुर्भावना या कोई विसंगति हो भी गई होगी एलईडी से, कि किसी मेंबर द्वारा किसी लापरवाही होगी या कोई कोताही बरती गई होगी या कोई अनुशासनहीनता होगी या जो डिसेंट प्रोफेशन है, नोबल प्रोफेशन, उसमें कुछ छींटे दाग लगे होंगे। लेकिन सभी एलईडीसीओ को इसको बलि का बकरा बनाना ठीक नहीं है और उनके ऊपर एलिगेशन लगाना ठीक नहीं है। तो मैं अजय वीर सर से भी विनम्र विनती करता हूँ, नवनीत चुग सर से, और सभी हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं, दुष्यंत सर, अजय गर्ग सर, सिद्धांत सर, दीपिका मैम, और सभी से मैं आग्रह करता हूँ कि ये नियमित चले। और हम सभी का यह सौभाग्य है कि ऐसे जो न्याय के क्षेत्र में अब हम सब निःशुल्क और सक्षम विधिक सहायता मुहैया करवा रहे हैं सर। और जो आप नवनीत सर ने जो पूछा कि छोटी शहरों में जो दिक्कतें हैं उनसे बड़े शहरों के लोग कैसे सीखे, तो ये है कि जब भी कोई मामला आता है सर, तो हम उसी के रूप में उनके अनुसार से ही हम उनके कानूनी जो उनके बचाव के पक्ष हैं, उनके व्यवहारिक दिक्कतें हैं, उनके अड़चने हैं, उनको समझते हैं। और जो कानून में जो उनको अधिकार प्राप्त है सर, उनको हम बताते हैं, जागरूक करते हैं। और साथ ही साथ हमको जो अलग से जो मुहैया नहीं होता है कि हम स्वतंत्र रूप से उसको एकांत में बातचीत कर सकते, प्राइवेसी मेंटेन नहीं हो पाता, क्योंकि हम लोग पब्लिक प्लेस में होते हैं और जब एक्यूज से मिलना भी होता है तो पब्लिक प्लेस, जेल परिसर में मिलना होता है या कोर्ट परिसर में
धन्य जी, छत्तीसगढ़ का लॉ मिनिस्टर है कोई?
लॉ मिनिस्टर है ना सर?
सो आई फाइंड इट वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि मैं इंडिया में लोगों को पूछता हूँ कि आपके स्टेट में कोई लॉ मिनिस्टर है, तो 99% लोग बोलते हैं कि नहीं है। और मैं जब पूछता हूँ स्टेट में, पहले पढ़ लेता हूँ कि कौन है, सो देन आई रिमाइंड देम। पिछली बार मैं इंडिया में था, तो पुणे में था, तो मैंने वो लड़के को बोला, बड़ा स्मार्ट लड़का था, आई सेड, हे, डू यू हैव अ लॉ मिनिस्टर इन महाराष्ट्र? ही सेज, वी डोंट हैव लॉ मिनिस्टर इन स्टेट्स। I said, you don't have a law minister? I said, you don't have a law minister in Maharashtra? He says, no. I said, your chief minister, Fadnavis, before,
लॉ
is
मिनिस्टर
now the
ताऊ जी
current
हैं
prime minister.
एट प्रेजेंट, अभी बीजेपी को गवर्नमेंट है, और राज्य में जो लॉ मिनिस्टर, लॉ विभाग का जो प्रभारी है वो शाह जी हैं। और
सो धन्य जी, मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा था कि आप छत्तीसगढ़ के लॉ मिनिस्टर बनो, क्योंकि ये जो प्रॉब्लम है इंडिया में कि वो केसेस बिहाइंड एंड 60 million pending cases, half of them government of India is either plaintiff or defendant, a quarter of them criminal matters. Okay, ठीक है, we have problems, but why is it that 29 states, no one state can fix it? Then I understand that Chennai can't even appoint a judge without New Delhi being involved. So we have a lot of stuff to do. But that's one of the purposes of ILA. We're not here to fix anything. We're just here to provide a platform so we can have a discussion. So Siddhant, I have a very tough question for you. So here's what some people say, that yes, we have a legal aid problem in India, but if India would allow contingency lawyering, if India would allow success fee lawyering, then 90% of the legal aid problems of India will go away.
So definitely there has to be some good remuneration. There has to be some kind of motivation for someone to go and work as a pro bono lawyer or give free legal aid service. I am not saying that it should be always monetary, but otherwise also as well. If somebody who is doing, this is my observation, if somebody is doing 100 cases of providing 100 free legal aid cases and is not recognized anywhere, this will not give him any kind of motivation. And even if he is not getting money, but if he is getting some kind of motivation through recognition in the market, he's provided some platform to tell that this guy is, or this lawyer is working as a lawyer providing free legal aid service, and this has to be done continuously. If this is not done monetarily also, it is not provided, then motivation is very less. Now what Ajay Veer sir just said, that we have, under article 39A, there many institutions have been for, NALSA is there, then State-wise, there is state legal aid services. District-wise, there are district legal aid services, and there are other various institutions as well. But there has to be change of mindset also. So, as you are saying that whether it has to be how it can be changed, or whether it should be based on the result, uh, that will this will create, this will have 50% effect. Somebody will say it is at the end who is going to fight for their 2 3 years, and then whether he gets something or not. I think there has to be change of mindset also. People who, when somebody who is not able to understand how court works or how various other authorities work, they are even in fact told by the presiding officer of the tribunal, court, or whatever authority it is, that you take the legal authority, you take the free legal aid help. That person who is not able to understand from where it has to be taken, he suffers for next 3 4 days continuously on ground level to understand from where it has to be taken, to where is the proper authority or the office or the department where that person should apply and get the free legal aid. Now, how we can change it, or how it has to be, I think there has to be proper training given to the lawyers who are selected. It should not be based on the forms which are submitted by lawyers initially. There has to be some kind of training, proper remuneration should be given. Then, infrastructure wise, I don't know how much on ground level it is, but there has to be some kind of infrastructure or as well, because if we go to district courts, in fact in Delhi as well, free whenever a free legal aid lawyer, I would say 90% cases, this is my observation. Firstly, the litigant suffers to get that lawyer. Secondly, when that person comes, the other side is like, he has taken pro bono, he has taken free legal aid, the matter will go on for a longer time. You come on the next date, you ask the litigant, where's your lawyer? He will say, I have contacted him, he's coming, he's not coming. They are not aware because their calls are not responding. So this is the actual reality, this is what is actually happening at the ground level. So there has to be some kind of supervision, there has to be some kind of authority, some kind of responsibility given to them. Instead of, in fact, instead of giving them, the automatic renewal of their contract, there should not be something like automatic renewal. In fact, there is some case pending before the Supreme Court with respect to this. I don't recall the name, but this is with respect to their renewal of contracts. So this is my understanding. Ground level, actually litigants are suffering a lot. There are a lot of lawyers provide on paper, to provide free legal aid service, but they hardly appear when it matters. So how it is going to help? I don't know. If you are saying that after 5 years they will get this much amount of fees or not, if this will be a criteria, this will also deter to the cause.
So can
Okay,
I add
thank you
something
so
to
much.
this?
Yes, please.
So, sir, like the big law firms, we have pan India, particularly stationed or based in Bombay, Delhi. So what happens is that they get freshers from very good law schools, 5 year law schools, and very, very good chaps who have done great internships. They're very hardworking, diligent. Once they have spent 1 or 2 years in that firm, their experience is far tremendous because of the variety of work they have. The only problem is that these big law firms, they have a very acute pressure of billing. So the partner is under a clock for man hours, the associates are under a clock for man hours, which is understandable because that's how the cycle works. However, if there is one dedicated section in that particular good firm given to pro bono, and there is one senior partner who devotes 10 hours in a month in that, which is not a big money making deterrence for him, and he can have two associates with him also for 10 hours a month. So what happens is that when you have a top tier law firm and devoting three big lawyers for 30 hours, as Mr. Dhananjay was saying, as Mr. Ajay was saying, and all say in terms of the number of hours. So when we have that kind of manpower from big law firms, then the representation is far more effective. One. Secondly, then there is no remuneration deterrence also. The lawyer who's coming anyway knows that my firm knows that I'm doing it for pro bono, so my billing hours won't work and won't suffer. Secondly, for legal aid, sir, legal aid is not something which is required only from the people who can't afford. Sometimes the converse is also true. Accused and he's just an accused. Various bar association, they pass an emotional resolution that we will not represent him. We will not allow anybody else also to represent him in the court. So what happens is that the trial is just sort of a non-trial, and he gets convicted because he had no adequate legal representation. He gets a ground for an appeal and the trial is remanded back. So in that situation also, the legal aid can work very well, and the bar associations can also help. That this is the legal aid which is available to you. Nobody is going to hamper you. And as far as infrastructure is concerned, I once went to Tihar jail to have a wakalatnama signed of somebody. I must tell you, sir, it is not a very good experience because they don't make it convenient for even lawyers to come and to assist an under trial. There are various people who are in central jail who can be released today on a Saturday just because they have a problem that there is nobody to write a bail bond for them, somebody to stand surety for them. And that's how 1 month goes by. And as Siddhant was rightly saying, 60 days adjournment is given for something he should have been released yesterday. So the infrastructure wise is something which is a deterrence. Today, if I want to be a legal aid or my son who's in law school, if I request him to be in legal aid, I don't know how convenient it is for him to go to Tihar jail for doing all these camps. And the government will take benefit from it. If 20 under trials are released on Saturday, the infrastructure can focus on more criminals rather than those people who are just enjoying the accommodation for no reason whatsoever.
Thank you so much.
Just to finish, sir.
Yeah,
So just one line. So there has to be some kind of responsibility and supervision that the lawyer, the person who was assigned with the work, whether he met the client on time, whether he appeared on all the dates or not, whether he took all the application, all the required documents, whether he filed those documents or not. There has to be some kind of check. Otherwise, it will go like you are getting your name enrolled as a free legal aid counsel. Initially, as I told, initially in initial year of practice, people want to make their name. Later, it's a different game. But there has to be a responsibility given to the lawyer, and there has to be some kind of supervision, and it should be based on that whether he appeared in all the dates, whether he appeared, whether he filed all the documents, whatever is reasonably expected from him, whether he did that or not. It should not be based on whether he eventually win the case or not. It should not be based on that. It should be whether he performed as a diligent lawyer. He appeared on all the dates. So that is what I think should matter more than what
thank
actually the
you.
result had. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddhant. Dr. Deepika, welcome. I know you were having trouble logging on and you tried 2, 3 times. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Navneet. Actually, I'm out of India. That's the reason. There is a lot of issue. I'm so sorry for
No
this.
problem. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your life, what you've been doing all your life in summary.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Advocate Deepika. I'm having my law firm in New Delhi, as well as my institute with the name called Institute for Alternative Dispute Resolution, which is in ADR. And it's already been 18 years of experience into this profession. And I think that's about.
Okay. All the other panelists have had a chance to answer a couple of questions each. And I'm going to do rapid fire round of questioning now. We're live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. So we get questions but before I do the rapid fire round with everyone, I want to ask you, what do you think is the number one problem in India when it comes to legal aid for the poor, and what's the solution?
Right. So, see, my assessment is that India is actually, largely succeeded in the building of architecture of legal aid, but we have not yet fully succeeded in making that architecture work as a seamless justice delivery system, which I feel it. If we talk about the Article 39A, which is not merely about appointing a lawyer to a person who, cannot find or cannot afford the good lawyer. It is about ensuring that economic or other disabilities do not prevent a person from securing a justice, which is a baseline of it. So today, if we really have to have a question, the question should not be that does India provide free legal aid? The answer is clearly yes. But the most important questions are, is it timely? Is it accessible? Is the lawyer competent and adequately supported? Or does the beneficiary understand what is happening in the case? And ultimately, does the intervention produce meaningful justice or not? The statutory framework that we have through NALSA, SLSAs, DLSAs, and the legal aid clinics and the paralegal voluntaries and the legal aid defense counsel system, which is very substantial. So NALSA is also expressly, describe it and its mandate as providing free and competent legal services. So in my view, the next phase of legal aid reform should be shift from coverage to quality, from appointment to representation, and from numbers to the outcome. So free legal aid should not mean simply free paperwork. It means that effective access to the justice as per my set of understanding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deepika. So we'll go to our rapid fire questions. I'll ask the questions. Some of the questions are long worded, but I'll shorten it to save time. And please give short answers as well. 30 seconds to 45 seconds, so we can cover a whole bunch of them in the next 15 minutes, which is our scheduled time to end. Ajay Garg, the first question's for you from Sampath Tidke from Nagpur. The question is, justice is a constitutional right, but poverty is a big barrier to justice. What is your thought?
Yeah, absolutely. Poverty is definitely a very big barrier, and that is why the role of free legal aid is so important. And that is why it is the obligation of every lawyer to do some pro bono matters as a service to the society, and especially to cover the lawyers, to the poor litigant. So therefore, it is definitely a big barrier, and but it can be overcome if the lawyers community, the bar association, the bar council, as well as the government authorities, they all come together on a single platform and make some kind of a program whereby all the lawyers are obligated to do some free legal aid matters, which will definitely, I mean, some kind of a program where uh, uh, the lawyers, for example, for the designation of a senior lawyer, now they have made it compulsory that the lawyer should have done some kind of pro bono work. Although, I mean, what is the criteria, how much they consider the point system and all that is debatable. But at least there is some incentive given to the lawyers. Yes, that you have to do some kind of pro bono matters, then only you can be considered for a senior designation. Similarly, for other positions, this kind of a compulsory condition should be put, and the lawyers, it should not be like if they enroll and they've got a license that is for the lifetime to come. There should be that you got to renew your license after every 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, and you have to do certain works which are compulsory, especially the free legal aid. You have to show that you have done something for you to be entitled to be renewed, your license to be renewed. So if all these things are done and taken care of, I think it can make a lot of difference. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question to Dushyant. So Dushyant, India has built a huge legal aid system. NALSA, state and district authorities, panel lawyers, volunteers, clinics, and LADCS. In your opinion, which one of these is actually working?
So, in my experience, no system is perfect. That's correct. But if a lawyer appointed by this institution, any institution, is not able to make it on time when the matter is called out, and then the accused suffers because the next date is after 60 days. So the point is that irrespective of the institution, the person who has to work on the ground has to be not overwhelmed. He should not be marked also so many cases that even if he is devoted, he is not able to make it to 5 courts in separate courtrooms or a floor or even at separate buildings and then miss out matters. So we need more number of lawyers in these institutions so that these institutions can also have good results to show. Like right now, what they're having it, they have panel and you can be appointed and then you can go once. And so in Delhi, we have 11 jurisdictions, 11 districts, and there are separate buildings. So for me to travel to 2 different district courts requires 3 hours of travel. So I am certainly going to miss out one of these 2 matters, and then the client will suffer. So we need dedicated cells in each of those district courts, and probably these institutes can tie up with those cells, is my understanding. Everybody is working perfectly, but the lawyers are overwhelmed.
Thank you. Next question for you, Siddhant. And the question is, why don't more people trust the legal aid system, and how can that trust be restored?
It's my observation is it's because uh, p- this is what actually is happening on the ground level. If you are taking a free legal aid service, firstly you have to struggle a lot. You have to apply for it, and then a dedicated lawyer will be assigned to you. Then how practically the case is represented is a totally different thing. And because of all these things, because of the delay in the representation, the trust on free legal aid eventually fades away. So there has to be, I think there has to be someone in the courts as dedicated cell, not in specific area of the entire premises of the court, but there has to be at least one department everywhere, like in 5 courts or 10 courts, so that a person, if the court has told him or the presiding officer has told him you go for the free legal aid, can simply go and walk to that person and say that I want free legal aid, so please provide me help. If that eventually happens, the trust will eventually rise. Because of the delay, because of the lack of communication, awareness of the litigants, because of the uh, lack of accountability on part of the lawyers, this trust is fading away. So if we want to have develop trust in this free legal aid system, there has to be some kind of check and responsibility and access, easy access to the litigants. That has to be there. It should not be that you should apply for it and then somebody will be assigned. There has to be some particular person or officer in the court to whom a litigant can go, tell him, then he can simply take the mobile number, or just for submit the form in the court or the authority itself, and then somebody will be assigned to you by the next date of hearing. So this is, I think, how it should be done, instead of the delay process what is there.
Thank you. धन्यजी तिवारी, हमारे प्रेसिडेंट ILA अलवार के गीतेश खन्ना, he has a question for you. He wants to know आपके सबसे अच्छा और सबसे बुरा, best and worst experience in providing legal aid. म्यूट, अपना अनम्यूट कर, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा धन्य जी.
सर, हाँ सर, लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में जो गरीब असहाय हैं और उनको निःशुल्क और सक्षम विधिक सहायता प्रदान करने के लिए एक सशक्त माध्यम है और एक वरदान है जो न्याय की पहुंच आम जनता तक हो। तो उसी परिप्रेक्ष्य में जैसे आपने बताया कि लीगल एड किस प्रकार से लोगों की सहायता करता है, जो अक्षम है, जो अनलिटरेट है, जो अशिक्षित है, जिनके पास पैसा नहीं है और किसी अपराध में दुर्भावनावश फंस चुके हैं या कोइंसिडेंट या किसी घटना के कारण अगर कोई अपराध से उनसे हो जाता है, तब वो स्थिति में जो फ्री लीगल एड के जो अधिवक्ता हैं उनको एक सशक्त माध्यम से उनकी पैरवी करते हैं और उनको न्याय दिलाते हैं। और बहुत से ऐसे केस हैं जो उनके पारिवारिक वैमनस्य के कारण या पुलिस की अव्यावहारिकता या लापरवाही के कारण या विद्वेष के कारण फंसा दिए जाते हैं। तो उन मामलों में उनकी सशक्त और पैरवी करने के लिए लीगल एड डिफेंस काउंसिल की पैरवी की गई है और लोगों को इसको लाभ मिल रहा है। जो भी पात्र व्यक्ति हैं और जिनको ये पात्रता होती है, उनको ये सुविधा मिलती है, वो सब खुशी हैं, उनके परिवार खुश होते हैं कि इस प्रकार से सक्षम और निःशुल्क विधिक सहायता प्रदान करने के लिए शासन ने जो और कानून के अंतर्गत जो हमको एक माध्यम मिला है, वो हमारी पैरवी अच्छे ढंग से करते हैं और रिजल्ट भी अच्छे आ रहे हैं सर। लगातार हम देख रहे हैं, हम तो मिलते हैं, लगातार जेल जाते हैं, अवेयरनेस शिविर में हम जाते हैं और ये सब पाते हैं, लोगों को उसका लाभ मिल रहा है। बस हमको जागृति अभियान में जुड़ना है। जैसे दुष्यंत सर ने बताया कि 30,000 कोर्ट में या वहाँ जो अपने वहाँ जेल में जाते हैं अपन, तो वहाँ व्यवहारिक दिक्कतें मेमो से संबंधित होती हैं और उनकी पैरवी करने से उनको मिलने से संबंधित होती है। उनको प्रत्यक्ष रूप से मिलने के अपन प्राइवेसी जब अपन मिले तो उनसे हम कन्वर्सेशन कर पाए, लेकिन वो सुविधा नहीं मिल पाती। और जब अपन जेल में किसी बंदी से मिलते हैं तो उनके परिवार भी सहयोग नहीं दे पाते, समाज भी नहीं दे पाते और पेपर और मीडिया के माध्यम से उनको एक मीडिया ट्रायल कर देते हैं और वो एक दोष सिद्ध का प्रमाण दे देते हैं। और ऐसी स्थिति में जब हम लोगों से मिलते हैं, जो बंदी रहते हैं, अभिरक्षारत बंदी मिलते हैं, तब उनको ये एहसास ही नहीं हो पाता कि हमको कोई विधिक सेवा या हमको छुड़ाने के लिए, हमारी मदद करने के लिए कोई ऐसे वकील जो अपने क्षेत्र में महारत हासिल किए होते हैं और बहुत सारे उनके पास अनुभव होते हैं, वो हमारे निःशुल्क और सक्षम पैरवी करने के लिए हमारे पास आए हैं। वो विश्वास ही नहीं हो पाता। जब वो छूटते हैं तो वो भाव विभोर हो जाते हैं सर। वैसे हम कल्पना करते हैं, जैसे आपने भी बताया, दुष्यंत सर ने बताया, गर्ग सर ने बताया, सिद्धांत सर ने बताया और अजय वीर सर ने भी बताया कि व्यवहारिक दिक्कतें भी आती हैं और हम जब उनको सक्षम सहायता देते हैं तब वो अकल्पनीय जो उनके चेहरे में मुस्कान आती है और खुशी होती है कि हम ऐसे फंसे। कई बार ऐसे होते हैं सर कि कई इनोसेंट भी होते हैं और कई हेबिचुअल भी होते हैं। हमको ये दिक्कत आती है, कई ऐसे केस मिलते हैं जो हेबिचुअस होते हैं, एक केस में छुड़ाते हैं, फिर वो सडनली दूसरे केस में तुरंत आ जाते हैं। फिर हमको चूंकि उनके तरफ से कोई स्वतंत्र रूप से पैरवी करने के लिए तैयार नहीं होते, तो फिर हम आते हैं और बड़ा उपा में हो जाते हैं, हम बड़े अचरज में पड़ जाते हैं कि फिर उसको हम कैसे इनोसेंट कहें जब एक बार छुड़ा गए और दूसरी बार फिर वो जेल में आ गया। तो ऐसी व्यवहारिकतें बहुत दिक्कतें होती है सर कि हमको कोर्ट के सामने कई बार झुकना पड़ता है, बहुत उनको दलील देते हैं कि अभी इनोसेंट है करके, और बाद में वो उनका जो पुलिस अपने पेश करती है डॉक्यूमेंट, बहुत सारे
अपने ऑफिस के बाहर एक साइन लगा दो कि दोबारा नहीं आना, अंदर नहीं आ सकते दोबारा।
नहीं हम बोलते भी हैं सर पहले हम लेकिन
Dr. Deepika, I have the next question for you, Dr. Deepika.
But in any case, let me say one thing: the free legal aid is not only meant for the innocent; it is meant for everybody, for that matter. Whether he's right. Accused, convict, or he has done or not done is another thing. That is for the court to see.
Well taken. If they're innocent a second time, I guess they deserve it. Or even if they're not innocent. So Dr. Deepika, question for you. If you could just make one reform to India's legal aid system tomorrow, what would it be and why?
All right. Thank you for the very good question. So I would establish one national early legal assistance and the case tracking system, particularly for the criminal matters. This is what I have been thinking of for just to create one reform. So from arrest and remand onwards, the system should ensure early identification, number one. Then there would be immediate competent counsel who will be appointed. Then there would be a first client interaction with that particular person. And if it is bail or remand, there would be a tracking process. And fifth would be the continuous case monitoring, which is actually missing. Just now I have been hearing the lots of very well known people on this dais. So everyone is giving their best of their opinion. Yes, we require to have the continuous case monitoring system, which will help us to understand and identify that what is happening in our case. And yes, the last would be the grievance redressal mechanism. Why? Because the biggest weakness is often not the absence of the legal aid institution, but the delay between when a person needs a legal assistance and when meaningful assistance actually reaches them out. So this is what is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I've dwindled it down to last 5 questions. I ignored most of them. So we're supposed to end right now, but we'll take 30 seconds each and answer 5 more questions. Okay, we start with you, Ajay Garg. What is the biggest problem today? Lack of awareness, lack of access, poor quality, inadequate funding, or lack of accountability when it comes to the legal aid system of India?
So if I have to choose one of them, then I think the quality is the most important thing. We are lacking the quality which is required for the free legal aid services. And as far as my experience goes, our volunteers, they used to go to the jails for providing free legal aid. In the same jails, there was a system where the lawyers from the district legal service authority as well as the high court legal service committees, they used to come. They were sitting the inmates. I mean, they were attending the inmates. But since the services which was being given by our organization, the competence, the quality, the consistency by which we have been doing the matter, and the outcome, the bails which we have granted, got them granted, the acquittals, keeping in view all that, the inmates used to wait for our volunteers to come so that they can interact with them, they can give their cases to them. So we are a private free legal aid rendering organization. So they're waiting for them. They are not talking to the lawyers already sitting there.
So Ajay, are you able to get some CSR money for all the great work you're doing?
No, we have not taken so far.
Oh.
I'm running my own law firm, which is funding this organization.
Okay.
So that is the case. Yeah.
Please take CSR money and 10x yourself.
Maybe
Okay.
I'll contact you for that.
Of course. Yeah, we need to.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that so throughout the world, the developed world, lawyers are allowed to work on a contingency basis. And I think I'm so crazy about this that I feel that a country that does not have success fee lawyering can never become a first world nation. Because if there's 100 million people in the country or 1 billion, if people don't have access to justice, then it can't become a first world nation. The purpose of law is to protect the poor and the powerless from the rich and the powerful and the government. And the only way the poor and powerless have access to justice is through one, information, and number two, a lawyer that's willing to work on a success fee basis. And our wonderful country has banned both advertising as well as success fee lawyering. So every bit of work that a lot of law firms do around the world in the developed nation, if the government's not giving healthcare or if the government's not giving the promised wheat or the rations or social security or pension benefit or medical benefits or veterans benefits or unemployment, then they go to lawyers and lawyers get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35% based on is it done on a letter writing, on phone calls, on starting a trial, filing a lawsuit, or actually doing a trial or doing an appeal, the percentage keeps going up. So the governments of some of these countries, and you can Google it, it's wonderful examples. Lots of governments of lots of countries have set up so that the poor and the seniors and the disabled don't get cheated when they get government benefits. Whatever government is being attacked that you're not paying my client a benefit, that government unit has set up the lawyer's fees So there is no jhagda tomorrow. So that
Right.
the disabled and the mentally challenged or the seniors are not taken advantage of. So for instance, the social security system in the US, where 70 million people get a pension from the government, if the government's not behaving and somebody is not getting their social security check, the average check in the country is $2,000 per month once they turn 65. And if somebody is not getting their benefit and some lawyer takes up a case, the fee is determined by code, 25% of whatever you get, maximum of $10,000. So it could be 4 years of payments not paid, 2,000 a month, 24,000 a year, 5 years, 4 years, 100,000. You're not getting 25%. Max limited to 9,200. So if we could just set up a contingency success fee lowering system, 70-80% of this pro bono legal aid stuff would vanish because some young new lawyer who's starting a practice doesn't have a whole bunch of work can do this work on a contingency basis and help the country uh, and move on.
Definitely.
Okay, next question. Um, Next question to Siddhant. Siddhant, why do so many poor and vulnerable people in India still do not know that free legal aid is available or where to get it?
So is mainly because of the awareness, lack of awareness. And if some kind of awareness is provided on a
Maximum of
general basis
$10,000.
from
So
weekly or monthly basis to people in town, or in fact in Delhi, a lot of people are not aware that there is something like free legal aid. They come to court, they fight their cases either on in person, or they hire a lawyer who doesn't come to the court. So free legal aid, if we want it to be effective, it has to be, the people have to be aware about it, that there is some kind of this kind of facility available to them. So there has to be some kind of training or information provided to every litigant whenever they are so suppose if there is a summon delivered or served upon a litigant, there should be some kind of a line also mentioned that for legal aid, free legal aid, you can call on this number, you can go to this court number. So this will eventually help on the first date, that person, before going to the court on the first date of hearing or to any department, he can simply go to that person whose name is mentioned. We can even in fact assign an officer. So this will eventually help. And there has to be awareness. Without awareness and lack of infrastructure, with proper infrastructure, it can only be provided. Otherwise it is quite difficult. It may be we can see it on the papers, but practically what I have feel, it's very difficult if people are not aware.
Thank you. Dushyant, how do India's huge court backlogs and delays particularly hurt people depending on legal aid?
So it affects a lot. And why it does is that in 2005, when I was doing my master's in Brisbane, so I had a section of mediation, which was taught. Then I came to know that in LLB students, they teach as sort of a compulsory module that mediation is also something which is to be taught. So once I invited my mediation professor to India in 2005, so then in the seminar, I had a point that even if you increase the number of judges, the pendency is going to only increase. Why? Because our court fees is very significantly less and people are just very litigious with each other regarding sibling dispute, matrimonial dispute, normal road rages are now coming to courts. So the backlog is not going to end no matter how we increase it, but they can be made in separate tiers. If matrimonial matters are just given to the mediation first and all these things, because as far as backlog is concerned, legal aid councils also have a different problem in terms of access to various courtroom buildings in Delhi, because we have various. And secondly, there's so much talk about legal aid and infrastructure. We are not very different how we are branded as a public defender in US system. So that's also not the first preference to everybody who wants a legal representation. They also go for private lawyers if they can afford one. So at this time also, I would hope that the government is also one of the ears in this panel. And only infrastructure wise or grassroots wise, thereafter we can think that there is one courtroom dedicated to downtrodden, small causes matters, legal aid matters, and those things, so that the initial backlog is not suffering to them. A commercial court's pendency should not hurt a legal aid case's pendency of an under trial, of an appeal convict, or something for which Mr. Dhananjay is appearing regularly, as compared to the intellectual property dispute, which in I keep my judge busy for the entire day, and I still think that I didn't get more time. So that's how the pendency is a separate thing, judicial infrastructure is a separate thing, but we need a dedicated sort of a building for these kind of cases, like evening courts, online courts, virtual courts, and by that, if it can help.
Thank you so much. So Dhananjay Tiwari ji and Dr. Deepika, you get last sentence to end our session today. Anything you want to say?
सर ये मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, दुष्यंत सर ने जैसे बताया मीडिएशन 3.0 अभी माननीय सालसा के द्वारा चालू किया गया, जिसमें कई गंभीर अपराधों से संबंधित जो मामले हैं, उन मामलों में भी मीडिएशन के तहत उन मामलों का निराकरण किया जा सकता है। जैसे लोक अदालत का माध्यम होता था, जिसमें दोनों पक्षों का समन्वय करके मामला को समाप्त किया जा सकता था। इसी प्रकार से जैसे दुष्यंत सर ने बताया कि मीडिएशन 3.0 अभी लागू किया गया है, जो अभी रिसेंट में इस पखवाड़ा चल रहा है, जिसमें सभी न्यायालयों में ऐसे प्रकरणों का निराकरण किया जा रहा है। जैसे सामान्य जो सबरी ट्रायल के प्रकरण होते थे वो तो होते थे, 138 के प्रकरण भी होते थे, लेकिन अभी जो 3.0 मीडिएशन 3.0 लागू किया गया है, जो मीडिएशन के माध्यम से ऐसे प्रकरण जो संघीय किस्म के होते थे, जैसे 498 जैसे पति पत्नी के बीच विवाद और जो मामले कोर्ट में बयान नहीं बदले जा सकते थे, वैसे मामलों का भी निराकरण किया जा सकता है। वैसे प्री बार्गेनिंग का पहले था कि प्री बार्गेनिंग के माध्यम से भी संज्ञेय जो अपराध होते थे उसमें क्षतिपूर्ति देके या पीड़ित पक्ष को मुआवजा देके भी प्रकरण का निराकरण किया जा सकता था। ऐसे बहुत सारे ऐसे मामले हो रहे हैं जिसका निराकरण अब त्वरित ढंग से किया जा रहा है सर।
Thank you.
Navneet ji, my final message to this is that legal aid is not a charity. We need to understand this perspective. It's a constitutional mechanism for ensuring equal justice. So I believe the real test of Article 39A is not how many lawyers we appoint, but whether a vulnerable person who receives it timely, competent, and the meaningful justice. So free legal aid should not mean free to the beneficiary, not inferior in quality. So this is from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dushyant. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Siddhant. Thank you, Dr. Deepika. And a special thank you to Tiwari ji, because some other seminar we were doing in the past, he responded and said some good things about stuff we were doing. And I saw his signature at the bottom of his email, and it said Director Legal Aid. And then I looked him up on LinkedIn, and he'd done it for 18 years. I'm like, oh my God, we've never done we wanted to do a session on legal aid, and we never did one. So I responded to him. I said, hey, let's do a session, and he happily agreed. Now we've approached so many people to get speakers for this panel, and our wonderful Shanti and Shruti and Swati tell me that they have so many other lawyers that they said they want to speak on this subject. So we'll do another one soon, a couple of months from now. So thank you. You will get an invite from Shanti to join the local boards of whatever city you're in of ILA. We have 3 chapters in Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, and Delhi. And Tiwari ji, aapke district mein there is no ILA chapter, so please start one and become president and do what you want. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll also look up Mr. Ajay Garg's organization.
Okay. Please. Thank you.
Thank you
That's
so
so nice. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it, Mr. Dushyant. What were you saying?
I said, sir, I'm going to look up to your organization and just find it out the details
Yeah, most
so that I
welcome.
can be a part of it.
Yeah,
Thank you so
definitely.
much.
Thank you very
And
much.
Have a good
and
weekend,
tell us
everybody.
Yeah.
tell us how we can financially support also, Ajay, for all the good
Yes.
work you're doing. Thank you.
very
Thank you so
Have a
much.
good weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.